Hello, this is Secret Force 25. I'm going to do a guide about the Ascension Atlas today. This will be a shorter guide, hopefully, so wish me luck. So, first off, you have to play one of the three starter classes, like Lightbinder, Paladin, or Cryomancer. If you have the biggest founder pack, you will also have access to the Berserker and the Gunner. If you have bought the Collector's Edition, which is not available yet for us on the NA or European region, you will have access to the Knight and the Alchemist as well. So let's take a look at the class atlas. Each class has a specific kind of atlas. So if I check the Archer, for example, he has a class atlas that reminds you of an arrow. So here you have the back and it goes towards the tip. See, it's an arrow. If you go for the Witch, this is the back part of the broom. The stuff, or whatever you want to call it. So, not sure about the rest, but every class atlas, every class tree is different from each other. So, what do you do when you start off? First off, you progress on each class atlas in the beginning with the colored sparks, so either blue, green or red. Once you're done with this part and you unlock the class symbol, each atlas has its own class symbol. So I'm currently playing Cryomancer. You see the symbol next to it, you see here's the symbol. Once you unlock the symbol on whatever class you start with, the first class you unlock it with will unlock you the Ascension Atlas, also referred to as Big Atlas. So, once you get there, you will have to start from the Cryomancer, Paladin or Lightbinder. All three of them are unlocked, even so you don't have to play them. On the big atlas, it's very important, it's not dependent on the class atlas anymore. Once you have unlocked it, it's unlocked. But let's say you started with the Berserker, you unlocked the Berserker node in the class tree of the Berserker, got access to the Ascension Atlas. The Berserker would be here to the right. Okay, but you cannot start from here. It is blocked. You will have access though to the Cryomancer, Paladin and Lightbinder. So everyone has to start here. You might complain about it, but it's a good thing. If you check the node cost here, it's like 100 each, around 100. If you check the nodes around the Gunner and the Berserker, they will be at 650 to 810. So it's a lot more expensive. You will not get that far. It's just gonna pretty much destroy the purpose of having them unlocked. So just be happy that you don't have to start there actually. So, what's different from the Ascension Atlas towards the Class Atlas? First off, you have another node. It's a leadership node. It looks like a Rubik's Cube. It is blue, always blue. You can only obtain leadership through blue nodes. What it does, I explained it on the order system guide, so look that up if you want to. And yeah, what else do we have? We have symbols. Here it's called talent. That's a wrong translation, don't worry about it. It is a symbol. Every now and then, if you scroll out, you will have big nodes. Those big nodes are usually symbols, except of if they have a class icon. That's to unlock the specific class. So, once you have the Ascension Atlas unlocked, you will have 3 symbol slots. So if you press I, you will have a symbol tab here. The limit is 0 out of 3 when you unlock the Ascension Atlas. Once you have, for example, the first symbol you will always get is Clever Maneuver, because that's the only way you can go in the beginning. This is going to be your first symbol. You just have to press it. It will start being shiny. If it's not active, it's not shiny. If it's active, it is shiny. Also doesn't have this checkbox to select from. As I said, you will have 3 slots free. Back to the Ascension Atlas, back to the Big Atlas. What else do we have? Except of those symbols, as I mentioned, you have the divine form, the God's form node that you can unlock. Note, this is only accessible once you hit 30,000 prestige. And with accessible, I mean the divine atlas that you unlock with the God's form node. So you can go there earlier, but it's not gonna give you anything. So don't waste your sparks here, starting here. You don't want to go there in the beginning till you are at around 20,000 prestige. where you might be able to access the god form actually in the next week. So if you're 20k, you get a reset. You might want to go for the god form to be safe that you will reach it for whenever you hit 30,000 in the next week. So what else do we have except of the divine form? You have the way to unlock classes in this game is by getting them on the big atlas. So you have to work your way through to them. So start here, and then here you can decide. Either you go for the archer or the necromancer on the bottom side, or you go for the slayer and the kinetic on the upper side. Those are the intimidate classes, meaning they're easy accessible. You might even be able to reach 2 of them if they are on the same zone of the atlas in the first week. But yeah, I'm pretty sure at least one of them can be accessible in the first week, either kinetic, slayer, archer or necromancer. Archer and slayer being the cheapest, and then kinetic and necromancer being the bit more expensive ones. After those intimidate classes, the berserker is the next cheapest one. You might say, okay, it is further away than maybe the witch, but the node clusters on the way are a lot less expensive. So you have 300 node cluster, another 300 node cluster, another 300 node cluster. And here it even goes below 300, sometimes 200. So it's very cheap to get to the berserker, even so it looks far away. Then the next more advanced classes are the witch on the bottom right, the knight on the top right, the alchemist on the top left, and the monk, where's the monk? On the bottom left. Those 4 classes take a while. They take at least 3 weeks to get there. 3 to 4 weeks is what you can imagine to get there. And then the last class you can unlock is the gunner. This takes the longest, it takes 4 to 5 weeks if you want to go there. So what else do we have? Let's say you want to go to the knight. Yeah. You want to go to a specific node, you can right click it. You have find pass, and then the pass will light blue. It is most likely to be the cheapest route. I do not trust it perfectly, so I always double check if I want to go there. So also, if you right click find pass, it will show you ways depending on what version you're playing. So how to explain? You have those pink nodes. Those pink nodes need sparks of revelation. That's the gray spark called. The sparks, this resource, you will unlock at 36,000 prestige only. For me, if I right click on the knight, it shows me the pass through one of those. I can unlock it because I have 300 of those sparks of revelation. That's why it's showing me this pass right now. If I wouldn't have the sparks of revelation, it would show me this way, because there is no sparks of revelation node on the way there. We refer to it as a cock block. Why cock block? Because in the beginning, when the Russian beta came out, you right clicked on the alchemist or the monk, for example. It showed you the way past this one node from the beginning. So people went here and then stopped here because they didn't have the resource to get past this one node. And they didn't know about it. No one knew about it, to be honest. A lot of people were there and were like really mad. So if you're using the find pass function, it got fixed later on, but I'm not sure what build, what update we are going to have on the NA or EU version. So please double check. Don't trust the find pass completely. Always be a bit safe there, and maybe take the longer route depending on what symbols are on the way, because symbols are one of the most important part to adjust your character however you want to play him. So for me, I would always take a detour to take more useful symbols rather than taking the fastest way to a class, because in the end you will have to go there anyways, and then all the stuff that you wasted on the shorter route will not give you anything for the symbols and stuff, you know, so you waste a lot of resources there. But yeah, that's pretty much everything you have to know about the big atlas, about the Ascension atlas. You can only use colored sparks. You see the yellow sparks, the sparks of evolution on the top right, but you cannot use them on the big atlas. So then, back to the class atlas. Once you have unlocked the class symbol, you will have access to the class sparks. So before I get to this point, I will not be able to gain class sparks for the Cryomancer if I'm new to the game, for example, okay? So once I have it, I get class specific sparks. They're called sparks of cold. You can use those sparks of cold for the Cryomancer, for example, to get past this node. You cannot use the sparks of cold, for example, for the Paladin or the Lightbinder, because they're really class specific, only for the class that you unlock it with. What happens if you have a maxed class, like the Paladin, for example? I have maxed. You see here is still something not yellow. That's because a maxed class means you have all the big nodes unlocked, not all the small nodes. It's not necessary. Once you have all the big nodes unlocked for a class, you will get a maximized class custom unlocked. You will get 2 symbol slots that I mentioned in the beginning unlocked. That's why I'm 11 out of 11 and not out of 3 anymore. And you will have the possibility to get Sparks of Evolution if you have a premium account. So if I would be playing the Paladin and doing an adventure, I would get Sparks of Evolution instead of the Sparks of Justice. The Sparks of Evolution are not class specific, they are for every class usable. That's why, for example, I never played the Monk, but I maximized the class. So, the other way of getting Sparks of Evolution, by the way, is through group adventures or PvP. Even if you don't have premium account, they changed it also with one of their early patches. That's pretty much all you have to know about the Ascension Atlas, about the class Atlas. Once you have the God form, you will have the quest line. You're above 30,000 prestige. You will unlock the Divine Atlas. The Divine Atlas will again have all the colored nodes for proficiency, for might, for stamina. It will not have leadership nodes. That's really only for the Ascension Atlas. Sorry. And all the big nodes are not symbols on the Divine Atlas. They are for your God form. It increases specifically stuff for your God form only. Also needs sparks of divinity or divine sparks. You will get them later on. That's for another guide as well. Or actually I can say it here. You get them once you finish an invasion on C grade, and on A grade you get 10 out of them. So, and towards the end you have another atlas most likely unlocked. We don't know yet, it's not implemented into the game. So yeah, that was my guide. I thank you for watching. Fucking annoying Russian person trying to challenge me here. Hopefully you tune in on my stream. It's on Twitch TV/SecretForce25. And yeah, hope to see you there.